Hello guys, my name is Nick Maranaka, and within the next 5 minutes I'm going to be sharing my delightful and intriguing experience at Fort MacArthur. Now if you don't know what Fort MacArthur is, it's this beautiful museum by the Korean Peace Bell up in San Pedro, this beautiful beach area. Quick disclaimer, if you guys don't get any of the references that I make towards vehicles, events, or places, then please look it up after because I won't be able to explain it within this time frame. Now, this visit to Fort MacArthur is basically the typical visit. My mom and I went in, and we didn't even pay admission. It was free. And we saw the few exhibits that they had to offer to the public. So a couple of pieces of artillery, two trucks, and one artillery emplacement for the Navy for a giant heavy howitzer. Other than that, there wasn't much. So after spending a mere 30 minutes there, we decided to leave, until my mom remembered that we didn't pay anything to get in. So she came up with the nice idea of donating $20. So she gave me the $20. I went up to the donation bin, and that's when I noticed one of the volunteers opening up a deuce and a half with one of their doors. So I went up because I wanted to see the interior. I dropped a couple of facts about the GMC that I knew, and he was kind of surprised. So we continued our conversation, and that's where he wanted to introduce me to the key keeper, which was a man who introduced himself as Cisco. After meeting Cisco and having a conversation with him, he decided to give me a tour of the entire place. So he continued to open two garages, two hallways, a radio room, and even a dressing room where they had hundreds of uniforms in there, from nurse outfits all the way to soldiers' uniforms. After having that exciting tour, he decided to show me their curator, which was Steve Nelson. Now, this is the man who ran the entire operation. So I had many questions for him because I wanted to volunteer in a place like this. History is kind of my thing. So I asked him, hey, can I volunteer here? He presented me with two problems, which was, one, location. I lived in Pomona, and San Pedro is a pretty great distance between Pomona and, well, San Pedro. And two is my age. I was 16 at the time, so being underage, I couldn't work with potentially dangerous equipment. So I asked him the next question, which was, well, is there a place close to me that I can volunteer at? And that's where he gave me, this is where my life actually changed, because he told me about the American Military Museum, a museum of which I still volunteer to this day. But I'll get back to that in a second. He decided to give me not one, but two gifts after that day, which was two books. One, which is a book about the museum itself, the actual fort, the history behind it. And the second was a book of my choosing. And I chose Suguru Sakai's autobiography, Samurai, and I think it's a pretty good read. I recommend it. Getting back to the American Military Museum, I've been volunteering there for a long time, and I've learned all sorts of new skills: how to fix Jeeps, how to learning even more facts about history there from the other curator, Craig Nicholson, and even making friends along the way, friends that I deeply trust. Now, if there's any lesson that I took from this, it's that never be afraid to share your knowledge with others or show off what you know, because you don't know what that might lead to. For me, I just shared a couple of things that I knew about a simple truck, and I got to meet new people. I made new connections. I went to a couple of different places, and I even got to volunteer at places that I actually wanted to volunteer at. So whatever you guys do in life, as long as you take chances and take advantage of certain opportunities, I think you'll be set. Thank you.